Have you ever caught the scent of your nan's perfume when there was no one there? Or maybe you dreamed of a relative so vividly that it felt more like a visit than a dream. Well, these moments aren't random. They are often your ancestors reaching out to you. And October is their season. The veil is thin, the dead are close. But how do you know when it's really them? And what should you do next? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into in this video. So stay tuned if you want to learn more about connecting with your ancestors. Welcome, wild ones. I am Emma Louise Dyson, earth medicine woman and shamanic witch, and your guide here at Wild and Untamed. And on this channel, we explore shamanic witchcraft, stone and plant medicine, ancestor work, and of course, living in harmony with the changing of the seasons and the wheel of the year. So if that calls to you, make sure that you subscribe, you hit the notification bell, because this month I have got so many videos coming up for you on protection practices, Samhain plants and herbs, and more ancestor magic that can carry you through this dark season. So October is ancestor season, and all over the world it has always been a time of honoring the dead. From Samhain here in the British Isles to the Day of the Dead in Mexico to countless other ancestral festivals across the world that really mark this descent into darkness. So when we talk about the veil thinning, right, it's not some, felt like I was doing a makeup video then. It's not some spooky Hollywood idea. It's that felt sense that the boundary between the living and the dead is a little softer. Dreams hit harder, signs and synchronicities repeat, and our loved ones on the other side feel close enough to touch. But here's the thing. Not every flicker of light or every bird passing or every feather is a message. Some things are just coincidence. So how do you tell the difference? Let's look at the most common and the deeper ways that our ancestors can reach out to us. Now, before we dive into the signs, let's get one thing really, really clear. Not everything that reaches out is an ancestor, and not everything deserves your attention. Just like you wouldn't throw your door open to strangers, you don't need to do that with spirit either. So I always set a boundary out loud when I am working with spirit. And I will say something like, only those of the light, only those for my highest good I welcome in, and only those in the right relation may come close. Use your own words, keep it simple, but make sure that it is clear and that it is firm. And there are a few other ways that you can back that up as well. So I would always, before going into any ancestral or spirit work, I would ground. Bare feet on the ground if you can, hand over your heart, remembering you're in your body, you are here, you are now, you are present, you are sovereign, right? As a living human being, right, we are the most powerful that there are, more powerful than any spirit, right? So you are sovereign, know that. Ground. Cleansing as well. You might want to work with smoke or incense or sound and pass this through your space just to make sure that the energy doesn't feel heavy and that anything that's lingering around can go. You may also want to create some wards. Salt across thresholds, protective herbs like rosemary or bay, protective crystals on your altar. I like to grid my house with black tourmaline, so I create a protective bubble around my house, but you can also create a protective bubble around you too. And you can do this using your wonderful imagination, right? Projecting this bubble of protection all the way around you. And if something feels off, say, no, not now, not this way, shut it down. You are the one in charge. Always remember that you are the one in charge. And remember that protection isn't about fear. It's about clear boundaries so that when your ancestors do come through, the connection is safe and clean and powerful. Okay? So let's move on. 7 signs that your ancestors are calling to you. Sign number 1, dreams and visitations. One of the clearest ways our ancestors reach out is through dreams. You might see them as if they were in life when you saw them last time. You may see them as younger, healthier versions of themselves. Sometimes it's not even their face, but it's a symbol that belonged to them, their favorite flower, a piece of their jewelry, a place that they loved. And these dreams usually feel different, right? They stick with you when you wake up and they really carry a weight. And you just know in your gut that they weren't just a dream. I will never forget, one night several years ago when my dad came through. So my dad passed over in 2020, in March 2020. And in this dream, I hugged him. I could actually feel his bones. It might make me cry. It was so vivid and so real and so beautiful. And it just took my breath away. And he has visited me many, many times in my dreams since then. But that night was a gift, a real gift. And it left me with this sense of peace and connection and so much gratitude. Something that is quite hard to put into words. So if this happens to you, acknowledge it, okay? Keep a notebook by your bed, write it down straight away. And if you want to go further, ask before you go to sleep. Ancestors, if this is really you, send me one clear sign over the next 3 days, something like that, yeah? It's about opening a conversation and giving them permission to step closer in a way that feels safe and clear. Sign number 2, no more tears. Sign number 2, sense and sound. Another common way that ancestors reach out is through scent and sound. So you're alone in a room and suddenly you catch a whiff of pipe smoke or your grandmother's perfume or freshly baking bread, and something unmistakably tied to them. Again, with my dad, it's tobacco. It's tobacco and his wax jacket. Like I smell them often. But it could be you hearing a favorite song at the exact moment that you're thinking about them. Or you hear your name called softly when there's nobody there. Or you hear a door creak in a house that's otherwise silent. So these moments can sometimes feel a bit eerie, but most of the time they're gentle. And it's this brush of presence, like, hello, I'm here. So if this happens again, pause, acknowledge it out loud. I smell you, I hear you, thank you for visiting, I love you. Whatever that might be, you might want to light a candle, pour a cup of tea or whiskey, place a small offering on your altar. These very simple gestures really strengthen the connection and they let your ancestors know that you're aware and that you're open to hearing from them. Sign 3, animal messages and nature omens. So ancestors don't just visit us in our dreams or scents, they'll often use the natural world as a messenger as well. It might be a crow landing right in your path 3 days in a row. It might be a robin sitting on your windowsill, staring straight at you. It could be a fox crossing your way at the exact moment you're thinking about a loved one. And sometimes it's subtler, feathers appearing where there shouldn't be any, gusts of wind, a shift in the bird song around you. Our ancestors knew how to read these things as omens. And when the same sign repeats itself, it is very rarely random. So if this happens again, pause, note down the date, the time, and the place, and just say a quiet thank you. If you work with tarot or runes or cards, maybe pull asking what is the message, or leave a small offering outside, a crumb of bread, a sprinkle of herbs, a splash of water. It's a way of really acknowledging the messenger and also inviting the meaning to unfold for us. Number 4, objects and tech. Sometimes ancestors will get your attention by nudging the physical world. A photo keeps falling off the shelf. A candle flickers wildly when there's no draft. Lights flick on and off. A clock stops at a very significant time. The radio or Spotify suddenly plays their song at that perfect moment. You know, these moments can feel like a glitch in the matrix, but they're often this very gentle nudge from the other side. I'm here, notice me. So if this happens, don't panic. Pick up the photo, light the candle, or simply just acknowledge out loud, like, I see you. Thank you. And you can also place the object on your altar for a few nights as a sign that you have received the message. It's a very simple way of saying, I've noticed you and you are welcome here. Sign number 5, numbers, names, and dates. Another way our ancestors get our attention is through numbers, names, and dates. So you might keep glancing at the clock and seeing 333. You might see your grandmother's birthday everywhere, on receipts, on house numbers, on license plates. You could be scrolling and then suddenly the name of your great-grandfather's village pops up in an article. And one-off consistent coincidences can happen, but when the same number, the same name, or the same date shows up again and again and again, that's when you pause. Our ancestors use patterns to cut through the noise to reach us. For me, it is, I'm not going to cry again. For me, it is always a combination of the numbers 1, 2, and 6 when my dad is trying to reach me. And there's a whole story behind this. I won't go deep into it, but years ago, after his first marriage ended, twice catching his wife with the same man, he packed a bag, he walked out of the house, and he got on the first bus that came along. And the bus was the 126. And he rode it all the way to the end, which was Dudley bus station. And he didn't know what was coming next. So he got off the bus, and then he spotted another bus, 261. And he thought, 126, 261, that's got to mean something. So he got on it, and it took him to a small village called King Swinford, and that's where he built his life. And that's where I grew up until I left home when I was 18. So yeah, whenever I now see those numbers, 1, 2, and 6, I know it's him. It's his way of saying I'm here. So if you notice patterns like that, you can speak them out loud, say, I see you, I thank you, and write down the note the time and the place, and ask, what are you trying to tell me, right? It's a conversation, not just a coincidence. Number 6, the 6th way, the 6th sign is through body sensations and emotional surges. So sometimes the sign isn't outside you at all. It's actually in your own body. And you might feel like a rush of warmth on one side, or a cool brush across your shoulders, or that unmistakable sense that somebody is standing behind you. And it can also show up as an emotional surge. You see an old photo and tears come from nowhere. You get this pang of longing for a place that you've never even been to. You wake up with this deep, calm ache, or something that just doesn't feel like it's your own. These aren't random moods, and they're often your ancestors brushing against your field again, saying, I'm here. So when this happens, pause, put your hand on your heart and your belly. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath and just ask, is this mine? Or is this the lineage? And whatever rises, a name, a feeling, an image, jot it down. Again, later you can offer a candle or pour a little water into the earth or simply speak out loud, I felt you, thank you. Yeah? Again, it's these simple acts of acknowledgement that really keep us grounded while also deepening our connection. And sign number 7, ancestral pulls. Now, not every sign is dramatic. Sometimes it comes as a tug, as a craving, as a pull towards something that feels oddly familiar. Let me explain. Maybe you suddenly feel the urge to cook a dish that you've never made before, only to learn that it was your great-grandmother's speciality. Or you feel drawn to research your family tree, or to visit a town that your ancestors came from, or to take up a craft like weaving or woodwork or gardening that actually runs in your bloodline. These pulls can seem really random on the surface, but they're actually often our ancestors whispering, remember us, remember this. Have you ever just I did a drum birthing workshop a couple of weekends ago. It was beautiful. And I was weaving the skin, the ties of my drum. And as I was doing it, it just felt so familiar, like I'd done it so many times before, like I was remembering the process. Something like that may have happened to you. But when this happens, follow it, cook the dish, visit the place, try the craft, dedicate it to them. Yeah? It doesn't have to be grand. You could just light a candle and say, I'm honoring you. I remember this. I remember you. Yeah? So how do you know then if what you've experienced is really a sign or it's just a coincidence? This is where witches and spirit workers kind of tie themselves in knots, second guessing everything. So here's what I've learned. Number 1, repetition matters. 1 feather on the ground could be anything. 3 feathers in 3 days, right when you're asking for guidance, that's a message. Number 2, timing matters. If it happens on a birthday, on an anniversary, on an exact day that you're thinking of them, pay attention. Number 3, relevance matters. If your dad's favorite song suddenly plays at the exact moment that you're talking about him, it's not random. And most of all, your body knows. Oh my gosh, it does. If you feel it deep in your gut, if your heart skips, if your skin tingles, if you get goosebumps, trust that. Trust that. And you can also ask for clarity as well. Is this really you? Show me another clear sign within the next 3 days, right? Spirit responds when you invite it. So don't overthink it. Look for patterns, relevance, timings, and trust that, your own intuition. That's where the truth is. Absolutely. So that is a little bit about your ancestors, signs that they're reaching out to you. Maybe you want to do something, right, to respond to that. So you can, a simple way to open that channel with your ancestors is just to find a quiet spot and set up a little altar. It doesn't have to be fancy. A photo, a piece of jewelry, something that belonged to them, a glass of water, light a candle. That's really all you need. And then speak to them out loud, say their names, thank them for their presence in your life. Tell them they're remembered. And if you don't know their names, that's okay as well. Speak to the ancestors of your blood, the ancestors of your land, the ancestors of your spirit. Make them an offering, a slice of apple, a piece of bread, a splash of tea. Leave it on the altar overnight. And here's the key, right? Setting boundaries. You might say you are welcome here with love and respect, but only if you come in the light, only if it's for the highest good, and only when I invite you. And if at any point the connection feels heavy or frightening or that it's just not right, just trust your intuition. You don't have to push through it. Close the ritual, cleanse the space, ground yourself back in your body. You are always the one in charge. Yeah? So there we go, folks. Some of the clearest ways your ancestors reach out through dreams, scents, animals, numbers, even sudden emotional surges. And the key is always the same. Notice, acknowledge, respond. Notice, acknowledge, respond. That's how the relationship grows. So I would love to hear from you. Have you ever had an experience where you just knew it was an ancestor reaching out to you? Was it a dream, a smell, a song, a number sequence? Share it in the comments. I read them all, and I would absolutely love to hear how these connections show up for you. And if you are ready to take this deeper, there are a few ways that we can work together this season. On the 30th of October, I'm hosting a live Samhain Ritual Experience. It's called Threads of the Dead. And together we're going to be journeying into the other world, and we're going to be working with the threads of ancestry, weaving magic for the season of the dead. And while you're waiting for that, you can dive straight into my Samhain Grimoire. 5 beautiful ebooks that are packed with recipes and spells and correspondences and rituals and tarot spreads. You can use them right now. You can save them until you get to Samhain. It's just $9 and it is printable, so you can add it straight into your book of shadows if you like. And for those of you that are feeling the pull to go a little bit deeper, I've also created the Ancestral Mysteries Portal. This is a guided set of rituals and journeys that will lead you through building and activating your own ancestor altar, journeying with the shadow and the light in your lineage, and also calling your ancestors into your dreams this Samhain season. You'll find the links below. Join the ritual. It's completely free. Grab the grimoire if that calls to you as well, or step through the portal. This is the season to weave threads with the dead. I look forward to hearing from you soon. I look forward to connecting with you further. Come over and join us for the free experience, the free ritual, and I'll see you in the next video.